Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video tutorial features the part 2 of the quilted tote bag we made, and if you have not watched the part 1, please do watch the part 1 to understand this video.
Guys, I've cut out the lining. This is the zipper lining. I also have the stopper cut out. The stopper is 1.5 inches in width and the length is 3 inches. I have the slice pocket here. It measures 12 inches in width, and 8.5 inches in length. 8.5 inches in length. This is my zipper panel. I cut out two zipper panels. So the width of this is going to be the same thing as the width of the external, which is 14 inches, and the length is going to be 12 inches. Remember, we are going to sew another external, this asset to it. So by the time we sew it, it's going to increase it. I have my linings cut out for this quilted bag. I also have the pocket that is going to form the sleeve pocket. I also cut out some wording. I'm going to add wording to it to make it a bit hard. Okay, you don't have to do that. So I like my bags hard. Stopper here, which is 1.5 inches in width by 3 inches in length. The main panel lining, I cut out 2 of them. In width is going to be 14 inches in width. The same measurement with the external. The measurement for the length of this is going to be 11.5 inches instead of the 13 inches. Reason being that this the asset we cut out is 2.5 inches in width. By the time we sew this one that is 2.5 to this, and we sew by 1/2 inch, this one will be reduced by half, remaining 2 inches, and this one that is 11.5 will be reduced by half, remaining 11 inches. So 11 plus 2 inches is 13 inches. So that's how I came about this measurement that it is 11.5 inches instead of the 13 inches we took for the external. This is the slate pocket that is going to be on this. So I took a measurement of this to be 8.5 in length by 12 inches. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to take this to the machine and top stitch to hide these raw edges. What these I cut out are just a bit bigger than the measurement of the lining, so I'm just going to place it like this and sew on it just to hold them in place. I'm going to fold this into this like this, but I'll make a measurement of like 1 inch and mark. This is the line I'm going to fold it on. So this way I'm going to fold it on. Okay, you can just roll to connect the lines. To fold towards that line, that mark that I made. I'm going to top stitch. When you are following that line, always check to see. I've stitched on it. From the top, you place it like 1 inch down. Since it is so much close to this cut out, I'm going to reduce this pocket by 1.5 inch. So let's reduce it by 1.5 inch. It's still going to be long enough. I want this pocket to be a bit up, so I'm reducing by 1.5 inch. Make a mark and just trim off. Just cut off this now. Okay, so these are pockets. So by the time you place it on it like this, you ensure that this one from the top, it should be at least 1 inch down. By the time I now sew it like this, you can see that it's not extending that, and the distance from here to here where this pocket is going to be should be at least 1 inch. Once you've done that, you're going to sew it all around, excluding this side. You can just cut a notch, and on this pocket I want to get the center mark, but I'm not going to cut a notch. You shouldn't cut a notch after top stitching, but it's going to show. So you just get the center mark. The entire length is 12 inches. Half of it is going to be 6 inches, which is about this place. So I'm going to place this mark down the same line with this notch that I made, just to make sure it's aligned. It's at the center. If you can use your eyes to kind of figure it out, you should do that. So I want to place it at least 1 inch in between the pocket and the edge of the main bag lining. So it's okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it to the machine. I'm going to sew here, and here. I'm not going to sew here and sew on it. I'm first of all going to backstitch severally. That's very, very compulsory to secure it. So when I get to this part, I'm going to backstitch again. So I'll raise my foot down. I'll backstitch. And when you get to the point, backstitch severally. So just going to remove it. Just cut out. Here is the pocket sewn to it. The reason it's looking like this because I added some matching oil to make the sewing easy. If you feel it's too big, sew a kind of stitch at the middle. I'm going to sew another stitch to kind of divide it into two. I'm going to sew on the center. You can make a mark. I'm just going to use my eyes to make sure I get a straight line. So I'll back stitch like 2 or 3 times. And I'm going to sew down. Okay. I did not make a mark, but feel free to make a mark. I'm just going to cut off the thread. I'm also cut off this thread here. And burn off. My final line just got finished. This is the stitched. So this is the pocket. So it's divided into 2. Here is 6. I'm going to be sewing this wording to this. Place it like this. So I'm just going to base it in place. You can hold with a clip. You see it moving around, you can just clip it in place. My clips are almost broken, the entire clips. So I'm just going to base. Basing it in place. I'm just going to cut off the thread. Then I'm going to trim off wording here. Just trim close to the lining. Okay. Just trim off the finish sewing the second one. I'm just going to trim. Close to the lining. Be careful not to trim on the lining or trim off the lining. Just close to it. The first one we did, and the second one. Also, next thing I'm going to be doing is to fix the zipper panel. I have my zipper panels to cut out. I have the stopper for the zipper, and I have the lining. In the first video I made, I showed you guys how to fix the zipper edge to the zipper. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a mark, half an inch mark. Here I'm going to place the zipper, and I'm also going to hide this so that my zipper head doesn't show. There's half an inch mark. Yeah, can you see? So I'm still going to do the same here. Just put an 1/2 inch mark. Okay, I just mark it like this. I'm going to take the zipper and place it here. I wouldn't want this part of my zipper to show, this raw part, so I'm going to hide it and bed it. Where I'm bedding it now, it's on that mark, close to that mark. You can clip in place so it doesn't move. The right side of the zipper, this is the right side of the zipper, right, and the right side of the zipper panel, they are facing each other like this. I'm going to clip them in place, and the edges should align just like this. Just clip in place. So I'm going to sew on it. I'm just going to sew this now. Just base it in place. This is the right side of the lining. So I'll face the right side of the lining to the right side of the zipper panel, which is the external, like this. And I'm going to hold it in place and sew. So I'm going to sew on the same stitch that I made before. So I'm going to top stitch on this. I'm going to use this thread here. I'm just going to use my hand to kind of press this together. Now you're not going to trim off your lining yet. So because by the time you are sewing, external might just go like this, and when you are sewing, you just catch just the external, excluding the lining. So you leave the lining, and by the time you finish sewing, you can now trim. Okay. You want to make adjustment, put your needle down and make any adjustment you want to make. Now turn. I'm going to sew everything around now. Keep sewing. Trim off the excess lining. One part has been sewn. This is the second one. This is a half mark we made. So I'm just going to take it. Ensure that you bend your zipper. It's on that mark. Can you see the mark? So it's on the mark like this. Then you clip in place. Before you sew, ensure that this one is on the same level with the second one. Okay, before you sew. And you can see also this one is at the same level with this one. So I'm just going to base in place. I'm going to sew the lining to this. I'm going to place the right side of this to the right side of this external. This one here. I just hold in place. Before then, I want to just cut off this excess so it doesn't get on our way when we are sewing. You clip in place and reclip. Ensure they are aligned. And you clip. So I'm going to sew on this same stitch. You can raise your foot up, you turn the zipper down if it's kind of disturbing the sewing, and continue your sewing like back stitch. I'm going to just trim off, down, guys. That's it. So I'm going to top stitch on this. I'm just going to clip it down like this, and I'm going to top stitch on it. So you're going to press like this before you top stitch. Just top stitching. So I'm going to be sewing second back stitch. Well, guys, I'm going to do a cross stitch on it. Then now back stitch. 16. Cross stitch. So I'm just going to trim off and burn off this excess thread. I'm going to fold it into two like this and cut a notch. Then I'm going to do the same here. I'll fold into two, then cut a notch. So I'll fold this one into two, then notch. I'll cut a notch like this. I'll do the same here. I'm going to fold it into two, cut a notch. I want to unzip my zipper from the right to the left, so I'm going to face it like this, not like this. Take note, guys. So it's going to be like this. You see this notch that I cut? I'm going to face it to this notch, okay, with the lining side facing the lining side of this one, which is the lining, is going to face the right side of this. So I'm just going to put it like this, and you can clip in place like this. So I'm just going to base it in place. Okay, so we're going to base in place. This is it. So I'm going to sew this one to it. So the right side of this is going to face the right side of the zipper panel, one of it. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to sew. It's too much. Back stitch. So just cut. Just trying to top stitch now. Trying to top stitch. Just back stitch here. So I'm just going to sew the second lining to it. Then I'm going to clip it in place with the notch side touching each other. So you just clip in place. I'm going to sew on it now. Just base in place. Take this one with this right side facing the right side of this. Just going to clip in place. I actually cut this excessive. Okay, so we're going to trim off after sewing. Then I'm going to sew now. I prefer to sew on this side. I'm going to be top stitching. Top stitch. I'm going to align this with this. You align them. You can clip in place. Make sure that this one and these are aligned. Okay. You tuck the zipper stopper in. Just kind of so I'm going to sew from this point all to this point. I'm just going to be sewing at half an inch stitch length. Guys, I'm going to be sewing digs to digs now. Just you can align them. Just clip them. Sewing the second side now. Make sure they are aligned. So I'm trying to back stitch on this part. I'm going to sew like half an inch from this point to this point. I'm not going to sew the entire bottom because we're going to be turning our external out through this opening here. Okay, like this. I'm going to cut. I've sewn this part. So what I did, I took this part and I placed it on this part like this. It's going to be like this. You can clip in place. So you back stitch first. Guys, this is the back and this is the lining. The zip has been fixed to the lining and this is the right side of this lining. This is the right side of this external bag. So I'm going to take the right side of the bag and put into the right side of the lining like this. I'm just going to tuck it in. I'm also going to use my clips. So just use your clips, hold them in place, ensuring that this edge is on this edge here. So just then clip them in place like this. Then I'll take this other one and take this, then align them. I'm also going to clip. Okay. Then I'm going to clip the remaining parts like just try and arrange them in a way that will fit in. That will make them fit in rather. Right now. So guys, I don't have enough clips. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew from this point all to this point. As I've sewn it around, so I'm going to turn it inside out from this opening that we left. Just tuck it in. Finish pulling it inside out. I'm just going to top stitch on this using this thread here. I prefer top stitching from the inside, so I'm just going to back stitch. I finished top stitching the back. This is the zipper. I'm going to be sewing the inside close. All you have to do, guys, is just to fold this part in, fold this part like this, and you are going to top stitch on it. So just to close the inside. This is the end product. You can see how simple this bag. If you apply the method I taught you don't have to include bottom to it. So the only thing you have to cut out is the panels, the two main panels. I love the hand too. Aside from the fact that you can carry it on your shoulder, you can also use it as a short handle. Okay, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I'm going to be uploading lots of videos consistently, so go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Give this particular video a thumbs up, and if you like any of the other videos, you can give them a thumbs up as well. Share this video with people who are interested in bag making. Okay, please do share my video on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and do not forget to turn the notification bell on